and then they can tell us the reason why.
.3 Citi FM from our studios in Accra. This is Eyewitness News with me, Bernard Avle, sitting in for your regular host, Sami Wiafi, also, and Umaru Sanda Amadu, and I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafi Akenting.
Coming up tonight, Communication and Digital Innovation Minister Samuel George announces a new DSTV upgraded package after many months of back and forth.
Depending on the DSTV package or bouquet you use, subscribers will get between 33% to 50% more value.
Tonight on Eyewitness News, we ask, is this the reduction Ghanaians were asking for, or is this too little, too late? Later on, Imani has led a confidential international forensic assessment of Ghana's Oil for Oil program and describes some of the findings as very troubling.
These reports tell us very clearly that the level of opacity around which this policy was undertaken is confirmed because those in charge at the time were not being forthcoming with.
We delve into the initial risk assessment and speak to people concerned. Later on, the latest polls regarding global info analytics peak into the future of MPP and NDC. Musa Dankwa joins us with some very interesting findings. We also have business news.
International Monetary Fund begins fifth review of Ghana's $3 billion program.
All this and more on Eyewitness News. We are live on our partner stations in the Western Premier 100.5 and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. We are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, Ashanti Region Orange 107.9 in Kumasi, and on Hames Radio 106.5 in Goso in Ahafo. In the Volta region, Eyewitness News is live on Akpini Radio 96.7 in Kpando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe. We're also live on Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi and WED 88.3 in Zwarungu in the Upper East region. We're live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Uwale. We'll start with our first story. The much-awaited price cuts.
Consumers of DSTV are set to save between 33 and 50% on their subscriptions from October 1, 2025, following recommendations by the committee established to review pricing. The move effectively brings to an end the protracted standoff between government and MultiChoice Ghana over subscription fees. Announcing the decision, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation Sami George assured subscribers that government remains committed to fair and transparent pricing while safeguarding the industry's sustainability. He highlighted packages consumers are to enjoy effective Wednesday, October 1.
MultiChoice Africa has committed to implement an unprecedented increased value offer only in Ghana, and I repeat, only in Ghana, which will result in Ghanaian DSTV subscribers getting more services for less.
The Ghanaian shareholders,
depending on the DSTV package or bouquet you use,
because
subscribers will get between 33% to 50% more value.
More importantly,
the new arrangement, effective from 1st October 2025, are as follows.
Because in what you pay to the
for those
Nigerian
who are on the Paddy bouquet subscription, you currently pay 59 Ghana cedis.
Or connect
when you pay
water
59 Ghana
to your
cedis,
household,
you get upgraded automatically to Access, which is valued at 99 Ghana cedis, and you get 35 more channels. this represents a 40% savings if you were to pay for the access yourself. Second bouquet, access, currently going at 99 Ghana Cedi. If you retain your access bouquet at 99 Ghana Cedi, MultiChoice will bump you up to the family bouquet, which is currently priced at 190 Ghana Cedis. You get 19 more channels, which means that if you were to stay on access and get bumped up, for the value you get, you make a savings of 48%. If you're on the family package, which is currently valued at 190 Ghana Cedis, DSTV will automatically bump you up to compact, which ordinarily goes for 380 Ghana Cedis. You get 22 more channels and actually get access to live football matches. So anybody on the family package which previously didn't get live football matches would automatically get live football matches. The value savings on this, 50%. Compact, currently going at 380 Ghana Cedis, gets bumped up automatically to Compact Plus, which is priced at 570 Ghana Cedis. You get 12 more channels in addition, and the value savings, 33%. Compact Plus, valued at 570 Ghana Cedis. You pay that, you're automatically bumped up to Premium, which goes at the price of 865 Cedis. You get 18 more channels and a value of 34%. For those who remain on their Premium bouquet, which is priced at 865 Ghana Cedis, you will still get all the content on the Premium flagship, the flagship Premium bouquet, but you also get an automatic entry into the competition for the chance to win a fully paid trip to watch selected English Premiership games. But this is, as well as you know, subject to terms and conditions. There is no restriction on a subscriber's choice of a bouquet. The offer is available to both existing and new customers from 1st of October 2025. Effectively, MultiChoice has offered value over and above what we expected of them. I went into this with a request for 30%. With what we have discussed here, the lowest is 33%, the highest is 50%. And I extend my warmest gratitude to the MultiChoice team for that.
So that was Sam Onate George, the Minister for Communication and Digital Innovation. I have on the line the West Africa Director for CAT International, Apia Kusi Adomako, for some reactions to this. Apia, thanks for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening, Bernard, and your listeners.
So this whole thing started a few months back. On 7 September, the minister announced that a new stakeholder committee comprising all sides has been set up. So we're looking with expectation for this announcement. What is your initial reaction to what the minister said?
Okay, so my initial reaction is that what the minister said is not anything new. Somewhere in June or May, MultiChoice had announced that whichever bouquet that you are on, if you pay, you would automatically be upgraded to the following bouquet. So what the minister said is a rehash of what is there already. And so there's nothing new. We were hoping that the minister would tell us something different from what consumers are currently enjoying.
Well, the minister's team would say this is a 3-month period sort of proposal awaiting further review as against what we had in the past, which was just for 1 month. Should that not be a good starting point for this?
And if it's so, then the minister need not to have even quantified the gains in terms of the value gains, because this is not something new. And so the minister should have said that work is ongoing, and then after 2 or 3 months' time, we expect to get a better relief for consumers. And so what the minister said is not what the consumers were hoping for. And then let me say that, look, though the minister said that whichever bouquet that you are on, you'll be upgraded. For example, if someone is with, let's say, compact, the person likes the compact bouquet. And by upgrading the person to the next bouquet and keeping the tariff at the same band, the person may not like the next bouquet, the content at that particular band. And so that may not have any utility for the consumer. And so for consumers, they are more looking at their welfare in their pocket, not the gain in the content that they may not be of any utility to the consumer.
But to the extent that he announced that this is for both existing and new customers, one can analyze this by saying, if I choose to pay lower for the same Compact Plus, I would still get the same product. So, for example, Premium is $865, Compact Plus is $570, and Compact is $380. If a Compact Plus customer decides to pay $380 to go down to Compact, he will still enjoy the Compact Plus bouquet. This is the understanding I get from this. So you could say this is a price reduction, but in an indirect way. No?
You know, as an economist, you want to look at the consumer welfare. And the welfare of a consumer is what his willingness to pay and what comes down and the savings that the consumer gets in his pocket. Now, the additional band at which you are raising the consumer may not have any need for that particular band in which you are shifting that consumer to. Let's take, for example, you are from Kumasi and you are coming to Accra. And then you get to Accra, instead of, let's say, the transport operator reducing the fare, say, look, if you pay from Kumasi to Accra, we'll top you up, we'll drive you further to Ho or Aflao. I mean, the passenger knows his or her destination as Accra. So you, the transport operator, taking the passenger further be above what the distance that the customer pay for, you may not provide any utility to that particular consumer or that customer. And so all that consumers are being pushed onto those bundles, they may not be of any utility. And so for consumers, I think that they are more concerned about the value in terms of their pocket and value in terms of what they want, and not what the service provider is trying to give to them when they don't want it.
But some could also argue that the pricing for telcos was done in a similar way, where you are paying the same thing but essentially being given more. So it's almost like that's the pattern they're using for these interventions without necessarily reducing the stated price for the bundle. So it looks like he's borrowed this from the approach for the telcos.
No. You know, better for telcos, the product is single. The data is what people are looking for, and the data is not segmented as to whether you use it to do TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. But for this particular multi-choice one, it's a whole channels, and the channel that you watch depends upon the bouquet that you want. So people in paying for settling for a bouquet look for what they want to watch. Me, for example, I'm in a Compact Plus. I don't like the premium, and so if you upgrade me to premium, I may not like anything the premium content. So like you are forcing me to stay in a band which I may not like, and try to keep the price at that particular level.
All right, let's talk to Charles already. Stay on the line. I'll come back to you, Apia, on other matters, including the controversial issues of Ghanaians using Nigeria DSTV. But the Deputy Ranking Member for the Information and Communications Committee and MP for Ibrahim is on the line. Honorable Charles Oredu, thanks for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening, Bernard.
Was the committee consulted at all or involved in any way in this fracas between the minister and the company?
Okay, thanks for the opportunity, Bernard. I can tell you on authority that this committee was never consulted. Actually, we opted, to get ourselves involved and try and settle this impasse. But then nothing was extended to us. No invitation was extended to us. All the meetings that were held without us. So I can tell you on authority that we were not consulted.
Would you have had a different approach? You heard the minister today. He's basically saying you pay the same thing and get more. Some interpret that to mean you can pay less and still get the same thing. It's just an indirect way of reducing the price. He's giving you more value. Does this really cut it for you? Is this a good compromise in your view?
You see, Bernard, the minister now has X splashed all over his face. You see, initially, these tantrums that you reduce your prices by 30%, else you're out. We felt that wasn't the right way. That wasn't the way to go. Because if you really listen to the company, that's MultiChoice did make the argument that there are so many variables that went into, this tax buildup, that, they are paying back of about 15%, NHI is about 2.5%, totally CST about 5%. In total, these decoders that they import about 3%. Effectively, they're paying about 28%. So that is what has led to the kind of prices that they are putting out. As compared to Nigeria only pays 7.5%, of VAT. That's all that Nigeria, charges the MultiChoice, the equivalent of MultiChoice in Nigeria. So it's 7.5. So why wouldn't Nigerians enjoy a better deal than Ghana? We have all these things packed. So if Ghanaians are complaining, and rightfully so, and then, Minister, you want to make an intervention, you don't start by issuing tantrums and then giving people deadlines. You see that now about this after 360 degrees. Now it's come back to say, they want to give us value for money, and it's akin to what happened with like you rightly said. I think akin to what happened with the telcos. But let me ask the ordinary Ghanaian: are Ghanaians getting more value for this same approach that was extended to the telcos? I'll say no, because if there's any amount of money that you buy on your, from any of the service providers, the data just vanishes. So this is exactly what's going to happen with this kind of approach. We have wanted that, okay, with this, just sit down with the company, understand the company first, reason out with them, find out how much they can reduce their prices before you even come out to say these things. But you don't go out, issue tantrum, issue one, and now you turn back and say, oh, they're going to give us better services. If you are a family, you have a family bouquet, you do this. What about a premium service, the premium bouquet holders? We have been told that for those people, they will enjoy a trip to Dubai. What if you don't win the raffle? So this whole approach to me was wrong. If really we wanted to get these people down, sit down with them, and then get them to reduce prices, this whole approach to me was wrong. He didn't use the right approach.
Well, he's done this, and he says it's going to be evaluated in 3 months. Do you see an opportunity for a better way? It seems like this is not a permanent solution. So by end of year, I'm sure there will be another conversation. And in that space, would the committee have an alternative approach?
Bernard, this kind of services that MultiChoice is offering is not an essential service. This is not about water, that if you don't drink, you will die. It's not an essential service. I know that they have, a monopolistic, attitude in terms of the way they are doing their thing. But these days, most of us are streaming. Streaming services abound. A lot of people are doing YouTube, they are doing Netflix, they are doing this, they are doing this. So people do have choices. So if people do have choices, allow them. At the end of the day, that's why with this price increases, you have a lot of subscribers refusing to even renew their subscription because they have better alternatives. People are going for streaming services. Allow them. The factors of the demand and supply. The economy itself will balance itself. And then for people who cannot afford, they'll gradually just leave the scene. Just allow, because next 3 months, when you come, And by that time, in terms of the Citi against the dollar had appreciated against the Citi. Can you come back and tell them to increase the kind of value that they are increasing now? You cannot, because they'll tell you that because the Citi is depreciating, now they can't do anything about it. There are two ways. Bernard. Either we scrap the kind of taxes that we've imposed on multi-choice, for if we decide to reduce the VAT from 15 to 7%. Of course, Ghanaians will enjoy the reduction in the value of the VAT. If we say we are making away with NHIS of 2.5%, of course, Ghanaians will enjoy. If we say we are just taking off the CST of 5%, the communications of 5%, Ghanaians will enjoy the value. But then, if we still imposing all these taxes, and yet we want to compare them to Nigeria, that in case of Nigeria is only 7.5, then it's going to be much ado about nothing.
Right. Thank you, Honorable Charles Uredu, Deputy Ranking Member for the Information and Communications Committee, MP for Ibrahim. Let me end with Apia. Apia, the Minister, in answer to a question, also said that a task force had been put in place to clamp down on the usage of decoders from Nigeria in Ghana. And he said for every one illicit Ghanaian decoder, there were 5 Nigerian decoders. And his calculation was that whilst DSTV Africa still gets the money, the Ghana government loses tax money because when we pay for DSTV Nigeria, there's Nigerian authorities get the profit. What do you make of that angle to the conversation?
Yes, I think what the minister said was right. And this issue of Ghanaians using illicit boxes from Nigeria as due to the osmotic pressure, the pressure gradient in terms of the price gradient between Nigeria and Ghana. And if we want to stop that, I think the market forces is the best approach in resolving it, not any regulatory things and going to people's house and finding out what box, whether it's Ghana box or Nigeria box. Once the Ghana prices come par with Nigeria, people don't have any incentive to import boxes from Nigeria. And of course, as a Ghanaian, I'm very much disturbed when I see people using boxes from Nigeria and Ghana government losing revenue. And as the minister said, the taxes do not come to Ghana, and government is deprived of revenue. And so if everybody starts to use the Ghanaian boxes, government of Ghana will get enough taxes to build roads. But, for consumers, they are looking at their pocket, where they will get it cheaper. They are looking for utility. And so if the ones that are being sold in Ghana is very expensive, they will look for where it is cheaper. And so the best approach going forward, as we wait to hear the final determination from the minister and the committee, is to see how the Ghana prices will at least come closer to that of Nigeria. In that way, that if Ghana start lower than the Nigerian bosses, I'm sure that people will decide to ban Nigerian bosses and start buying. So let the market forces, let the prices correct this, and not going to people's houses and checking which boxes that they are. I'm sure the ECOWAS law is not against para imports.
All right. Thank you very much, Apia Kusi Adomako. He's the West Africa Director for CATS. Eyewitness News is live on 97.3 CDFM. When we come back, there's more, including findings from an initial risk audit of the Gold for Oil program. Imani says it raises very troubling issues. Later on, who is leading the MPP and the NDC in their respective potential races for 2028? Musa Danko has all of that and more. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
and I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket, or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community will win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Like a fiesta by my side, I'm all wrapped up, and all I think about is my pain. I get classic, I get bloated, I get stronger, also fruity. Of course, all not to take me longer. Skin to skin, no, no, no. All I need is my extra thing. Doing so day, so go for the glow up and keep the vibe 100 with more party plans. Fiesta, fiesta, wrap it up.
Wrap it up with Fiesta condoms. Comes in 9 different variants to spice up your game. Available in any pharmacy near you.
Prevents STIs and unintended pregnancy when used correctly.
This advert is FDA approved.
Wrap it up.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s. You lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
"Hello, Kwame."
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our express points to EcoBank Pay, online banking, and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change, powered by EcoBank.
EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Google me. At what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action no. Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my go be fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my go be inside? I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small. The go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
And we're live on 97.3 Citi FM and our partner stations across the country. We've dealt with the first issue. The Minister for Communication has announced increase in value bundles for DSTV. Here are some reactions. Yesuvin, who says, if I'm okay with 10 channels and the price is 59 cedis and you claim the price is too high for me, the only thing you can do is to increase the channels, but still I have to pay 59 cedis for a month. Yao from Sun City says, does this multi-choice offer apply only to DSTV or for GoTV as well? What made the minister think that this is a reduction? DSTV from time to time does this. He couldn't convince multi-choice. Here is somebody called We the People from Oyarifa. He says, our public servants must understand that the resources of this country do not belong to anybody's mother. If you are not ready to account to the people, go home. I think it's a different reaction. Gusty Man from Brekum, he says, Samuel George has completely lost the fight with multi-choice. Are these what Ghanaians was looking for? Or is this what Ghanaians were looking for? All these stations and packages added makes no sense to some of us. Complete waste of time and energy. Selon from Sapema says, I'm not sure what Samuel George announced is not new. We have been getting upgrades from time to time. In any case, what happens to those using GoTV, which is also operated by multi-choice? Those are some comments coming in. Our next issue has to do with findings from a forensic risk assessment of the Gold for Oil program.
Well, the Coalition of Oversight Institutions, including Imani Africa, is demanding a full audit of Ghana's Gold for Oil program. A forensic risk assessment has reviewed fiscal leakages, governance failures, and systemic fraud. The review, drawing on data from NPA, BOST, and Customs, flagged revenue losses of about 7.2 billion Ghana cedis.
Well, so to give us more insights into this, I have Profi Ajiman, who's a senior research associate from Imani Africa. Profi, thanks for joining the program. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Profi. Thanks for joining us on Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Bernard. Good evening to your listeners as well.
What is a forensic risk assessment?
Okay, so Imani was privileged to collaborate with our international partners in respect of the Gold for Oil program that the previous government had rolled out and which has since been curtailed. What we sought to do is to inspect, in quote, whether there were any governance issues related to the program, whether there were any sort of risk factors in terms of the engagement that the program had with certain bodies or certain companies outside the country, and what the revenue situation was, whether the program really fulfilled its intended purposes. Okay, so that's what we looked at. What risk did that particular program send, or the actors that played a role in that program send the whole entire state into? That is what we sought to do, and that is why we've concluded a report and sent that to the appropriate authorities for further investigation. Of course, they will be able to really do a deep dive in terms of the capacity they have and look at all the other areas which we faced issues with.
Okay. My initial question was premised on the need to differentiate between a risk assessment and a full audit, because in the story itself, Imani does call for a comprehensive forensic audit, which suggests to me that this forensic risk assessment you've done can be considered preliminary. If that is the case, can we stand on any of the conclusions therefrom, or should we wait for a comprehensive forensic audit before we can really be conclusive?
So as I'm sure you are abreast with the issues we've raised in our press release. We have been careful not to give certain names and names of companies and certain details and individuals and all that. The full comprehensive sort of assessment that we have and results of which have been delivered to the appropriate authorities. The GRA has it, the OSP also does, of course, and other relevant actors in the governance system. So ours was just to raise red flags. We are not the court. We are not any sort of a state sanctioned investigative body. Our interest is whether programs which are rolled out by the government have been duly operationalized, administered, whether there be any breaches thereof, and make that recommendation to the authorities for them to carry through a detailed forensic study of what happened with that particular program.
Be that as it may, the preliminary findings seem pretty alarming. I see, for example, the conclusion that the assessment highlighted a fundamental breakdown in the gold barter process and spoke about the gold leg of the program operating without foundational contracts between the BOG and the PMMC, creating vast
Yeah.
governance vacuum. This seems pretty serious. Is it to mean that the oil side was better managed than the gold side?
Well, no, not really. I mean, to even speak to that would be sort of giving away or pretending that we know what the proper investigative bodies would conclude on. We feel that the entirety of this program, we picked that just for example, the entirety of this program, recall that the Gold for You program relied on locally sourced gold to pay for fuel imports, right? So the value assigned to each shipment of gold determined how much fuel the country could secure. When you take the London fix, the LBMA pricing mechanism, if in cases that we saw, it was applied inconsistently and there was no independent assay to verify the purity and weight of the gold, the state risked systematically undervalue its own gold. This meant that Ghana could be giving away more gold than necessary for each barrel of fuel, or losing revenue it could otherwise have captured, while traders and intermediaries could profit from the price and quality gaps. In effect, weak pricing discipline and lack of a third-party verification, as we saw in that particular program, we believe eroded the program's financial efficiency and created opportunities for hidden value transfer, as we noted in the press release, away from the state.
So the three key points you highlight: the lack of the contract between the BOG and PMMC, the arbitrary application of the London Bullion Market Association pricing, and the use of discretionary exchange rates, and then
and the market distortion as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This seems pretty serious. How were you able to convert that into possible financial losses? Because I think the report suggests approximately 7.5 billion cedis in lawful tax exemptions and other types of losses. Are you able to quantify in totality what these breaches and infractions would mean for the Ghanaian taxpayer?
Okay, so I mean, not to preempt what the investigative authorized bodies would conclude. What we relied upon, and mind you, we worked with experts who, of course, corroborated some of the information we had outside the country. So our primary data sources were the MPA in relation to Ghana, in terms of the cross-checks, BOST itself, and then the customs division. We will be giving away too much if, I could say on air that these are the final, numbers and all that. So what we arrived at is some kind of an estimation of what, the anomalies that the poor structuring and the poor administration of the program resulted in.
One of the newspapers in their report say you were demanding criminal investigations into the program. And that seems very, very, very serious indeed. Was this work commissioned by the state, or this is purely part of your advocacy work you do with your partners?
It's purely part of the advocacy work we do with our partners. And we've had, in some instances, carried out work that has even not been public, which we've sought to resolve in-house because there's been solution to it. What we saw in this particular instance is that there seemed to suggest, right, not to preempt what the authorities will conclude on, but it seemed to suggest a deliberate attempt to actually hide certain dealings related to this program to the benefit of certain people. And that's why we think that, of course, we had our lawyers also look into it. We have a very brilliant legal team look into it and assess whether this qualifies as, if it indeed is true, it qualifies as any attempt by anybody to actually commit a crime. That probability alone, I believe, should be explored, and that's why we put that across. That as part of the recommendations, we should seek not only to be doing some kind of clawback mechanism, but also to try and prosecute if indeed people are found to have caused any sort of impropriety with regard to this program. As mentioned, of course, in relation to the clawbacks, we believe that a retroactive tax assessment to be carried out by the GRA will be apt, right? because the Commissioner General has the powers to do that. And in fact, when you look at Act 915 and Act 1029 as well, it empowers the Commissioner to do that, just so that we can have a recap of what really happened. Did people really undervalue things? Did they pay appropriate taxes and all of that? What we have is quite grave. And obviously, the press release will not be able to carry all the details. We have all the respect that we can garner for the appropriate authorities, and we believe they are more equipped to look into the nitty-gritties of the case. So
in this case, will the appropriate authorities be the Auditor General's department, or which body? Because this work you've done is less than a year since the previous government left office. So it appears we are still within the audit year. I'm not sure if the Auditor General's department has done a specific audit on any of these entities, or whether there's been an audit of the G4O program itself.
Yeah.
So which duty bearer, in your view, would be best positioned to take this up?
Well, I think the OSP has a lot of impetus when you look at the kind of work the office is pursuing at the moment. So I would say the OSP. We have forwarded it to the JRA as well, and the relevant government authorities. Of course, we are still in talks with our partners as to how this would unravel. In terms of, I think the government will make an appropriate decision as to which particular body, whether the state authority, state prosecution mechanism will be unveiled for this, or the OSP will take this up. So that's as much as we could share in terms of the strategy ahead.
Finally, beyond the gold for oil, we also have a gold for reserve program, which I think this government has continued, which is why we've amassed vast amounts of gold, which seems to have strengthened the Citi in the first few months of the year. Are you interested in analyzing that too, or if it's ain't broke, don't fix it?
We are actually analyzing it. I'm sure you will hear from us soon. I can't give you dates, but we are actually concerned not only for a post-mortem analysis of all these programs, but also, if we could, a timely analysis so that we can prompt the appropriate authorities and say that, well, I think this is not going well, or this is going well. My personal concern about that is whether we are buying gold at real prices from whoever we are buying it from locally. Because if it's not real prices, it does encourage smuggling and all that. It has all these, cascading effects.
Have you shared this report with any of the interested groups like the MPA, the BOST, or the BOG?
We have shared the report. I think this is the first entities we shared with are the OSP, GRA, government. We have this week to do all those communications. I believe the leadership of Imani has, informally briefed, these important.
I don't intend to get into a debate with the BOST MD former, but I feel like it would be nice for you to stay on the line whilst I take his response to this. So I'm probably if you can stay on. Edwin Provençal is the former CMD of the bulk oil storage and distribution company BOST. Mr. Provençal, thanks for joining us. I'm not sure if you've seen this international forensic risk assessment of the Gold for Oil program, but according to Imani and their partners, it has exposed systemic governance failures and profound fiscal leakages, prompting them to demand for immediate criminal investigations and recovery of lost state revenue. Have you heard of this? Have you seen any report? What's your reaction?
Good evening to your listeners. And yes, I also saw it this morning, like yours.
So,
hello?
Yes. So you saw it this morning. What do you make of it? It raises some pretty serious issues because they analyze data from MPA, BOST, and Customs, and concludes that the program was compromised by, quote, a deliberate architecture of obfuscation, unquote, designed to conceal revenue loss and enable potential illicit enrichment.
I've like I said on the other stations, There's been lots of audits done on the G4O program. Bank of Ghana released their year-end report. BOST has also released their year-end report. There's been other audits that have been done, and the results are out there. I have no clue as to what other evidence they have that is pointing to the allegation. Are you with me?
Okay.
But I mean, if you look at the BOST end, in terms of governance and transparency, we did a quarterly audit on all the molecules, internal audit on all the molecules signed by the internal auditor. We were also audited by the external auditors, and at the BOST end, I don't know what's.
Okay.
I mean, what.
Okay, so let me be specific. A lot of what I've seen has to do with the gold end, but the report also flagged all international suppliers selected for the G4O program for exhibiting serious due diligence concerns, including opaque ownership structures and links to sanction-sensitive trading flows and money laundering networks in high-risk jurisdictions. So I think the part that could concern you was whether the partners you selected for the oil side, whether you did select any at all, you were sure that you had done due diligence on them and that these were companies which did not have any problems.
So every partner we selected, there was some due diligence by BOST itself, there was due diligence by the Finance Intelligence Center, and there was further due diligence by Bank of Ghana before they were onboarded onto the program. So I'm at a loss as to what is being discussed, because I mean, if you go into the BOST books, you would find communication between the suppliers and Bank of Ghana, the suppliers and the BOST, and then BOST would forward details to the Financial Intelligence Center, who would revert to us and who do their KYC as well before they are onboarded. So, and then they'll be recommended to the ministry, and the ministry would approve it before they're onboarded. So, I'm at a loss as to the opaqueness.
Let me give you one last one that specifically mentions BOST. The assessment estimates that the state remains exposed to revenue loss of up to 7.2 billion cedis due to the absence of transparent reconciliation downstream. Critical anomalies were identified, including cargoes being imported without corresponding BOST receipts and products received at national depots without subsequent customs declarations. It also talks about the conduct of former BOST officials and an allied company, suggesting they were central architects of a scheme that exploited the G4O program. On
that customs side, it will be very difficult to justify that, because every cargo that comes into this country, the quality and the quantity is ascertained by NPA. Once NPA does that, it goes into the system where the GRA is also connected in that system. And then every molecule that goes onto the market as well, GRA, NPA ensures that the taxes and the levies are slapped on it. So, insofar as every molecule that came into this country by the G4O program, there is a paper trail and accountability from how much volume came. You can get that from NPA, you can get that from BOST. How much was sold, you can get that from Bank of Ghana, you can get that from BOST, you can get that from NPA as well. So there's traceability on all the molecules that came into this country, and I'm at a loss how products could not be accounted for. If products couldn't be accounted for, I am sure the Auditor General would have flagged it.
Okay.
When they audited BOST, and the auditors from Bank of Ghana also would have flagged it. Don't forget that BOST was an agent for Bank of Ghana, and Bank of Ghana put in place various check controls. One of them was the fact that BOST collected no money. No money was collected by BOST directly. Monies were paid to the collection bank nominated by the Bank of Ghana. And then there was another layer on top of that, which is Bank of Ghana appointed a collateral manager who, without his or her approval, there was no way a molecule could leave any depot in this country. So I'm at a loss as to how there could be leakages in terms of the molecules that came in.
Well, thanks for your response. They are asking for further, they call it comprehensive forensic audit. I wonder if you will welcome that, if that will bring more clarity to the matters.
Oh, I think that there's nothing that stops any citizen of this country for asking for more transparency or more accountability. So if in their minds they think that they found something that warrants another audit, why not?
Thank you very much, Edwin Provincial, former CEO of BOST, and thank you, Amprofia Jiman, Senior Associate for Research, Imani Africa.
News. Be there as it happens.
We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We're here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile, beyond your expectations. We will get it done and get it done very well now. UBA, best loans and more. UBA, best customer satisfaction. UBA, best digital solutions. UBA, Africa's global bank.
For best retail products, innovative offerings, loans made just for you, attractive interest rates, trading across Africa or sending money. If you want the best digital banking products, including chatting with you on WhatsApp and Facebook, turn to UBA, Africa's global bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
The jamming never stops. The game never stops. The productivity never stops. The music never stops. At G&J, we keep your world powered with reliable generators, solar energy, and UPS solutions, so the power never stops. Your go-to for total energy solutions, making sure you work, thrive, and live life uninterrupted. Visit our website, gjtechghana.com, or call us on 0302-689-178 or 179 or 0202-222-220. G&J, your energy partner.
We asked Ghanaian business owners what they want from Old Mutual.
I want insurance and pension solutions that will protect my employees.
Your business growth is our business. For 180 years, we have partnered with businesses to protect and grow their most valuable assets. From tailored group life assurance protection to affordable pension plans, we've got your business and your employees covered. Contact your broker or call Old Mutual on 0509-551-609 today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. The International Monetary Fund has begun its fifth review of Ghana's $3 billion program to determine whether the country will secure its next $360 million disbursement. The 2-week mission led by Dr. Ruben Atoyan is assessing Ghana's economic performance up to June 2025 with arrears clearance, reserve build-up and the impact of recent policy rate cuts expected to dominate discussions. This is the second to last review before the program concludes in May 2026. Ghana's ability to sustain fiscal discipline beyond the IMF deal is also being closely monitored. If Ghana passes this review, it will receive about $360 million in October 2025. The Ghana Statistical Service has refunded 6,400 cities flagged as an infraction in the 2024 Auditor General's report. According to the report, while 46,000 cities was dispersed for lunch and per diem under a specific payment voucher, only 39,600 cities was properly accounted for, leaving a shortfall. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu assured that the anomaly has since been corrected and pledged that such lapses will not recur.
Okay, you spent 46,000 for lunch and per diem, and you accounted for only 39,600. Where is the 6,400? The recommendation was that the regional head should ensure that the accountant refund the unaccounted amount of 6,400 and same paid into Auditor General's recoveries account with Bank of Ghana. Have you done that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair and Ranking, we've done that.
Now, do you have any evidence of you doing that?
Yes, please, we have evidence, and we've shared with the auditors, and we have a copy available here. So, Madam Chair, Mr. Rankin, Honorable Rankin, we said we had shared with the auditors because we look at the regional auditors as part of the Ghana Audit Service. So when we said we had shared with the auditors, we meant that we had shared with the regional auditors.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Rankin, and thank you, members of the committee. We'll make sure that going forward, we don't see such infractions.
That was the government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu addressing members of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. Now, government says it has achieved a major milestone in the energy sector, cutting the cost of power generation by more than 30%. This development is expected to ease pressure on utility tariffs in the months ahead. Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor says the reduction is part of sweeping reforms aimed at boosting efficiency, reducing costs, and ensuring long-term sustainability in electricity production. Speaking at a side conference during the just-ended United Nations General Assembly in New York, he added that significant progress is also being made in solar energy development, with renewable power set to become a central pillar of Ghana's future energy mix.
If is to reduce our cost of generation by about 30%. We also have what we call a gas to power transition, where we are developing all our gas resources to feed our thermal plants. Then we have an ambitious project to achieve 30% of solar mix by the end of 2026. And we are sure that we will do that because of our hydro potential. We are balancing our power with our hydro. We have some hydro power. And so what we are doing is that we are not going for solar battery back solar. We install the solar, we use the solar daytime, then in the night we resort to the hydro.
That was the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor. The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, wants government to introduce incentives for public sector organizations that invest in professional marketing certification for their staff. CIMG National President Michael Abiu says institutionalizing such incentives will be key to raising marketing standards across the country and enhancing Ghana's competitiveness on the global stage. He spoke at the 36th Annual National Marketing Performance Awards in Accra.
We respectfully seek the endorsement of the Chief of Staff and the facilitation of incentives for public sector organizations that invest in professional marketing certification for their staff. Institutionalizing this will accelerate the elevation of marketing standards nationwide. Therefore, not only in the private sector organizations, but also in the public and state institutions. To every organization present, actively encourage your staff to join the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. Membership is a commitment to service, lifelong learning, ethical practice, and professional excellence.
Michael Abiu is National President of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. Now, the Ghana Railway Development Authority has announced that it is set to commence the first proof of revenue service on the Tema and Pakadan Railway from October 1, 2025. This follows a successful test run and the resolution of key challenges, including encroachment on sections of the rail line. Acting Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Frederick Apo, made this known during a familiarization visit by Deputy Transport Minister Dorcas Afotofi to the authority.
This was done on a 4-day period with staff from GRDA working over the weekends to make this happen. I must say that when I was appointed in March, the situation was dire. We had a railway line which has been commissioned, ceremonially commissioned but technically defective. Through the hard work of the directors, some of them were working on odd hours, weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. We managed to work with our contractor to resolve most of the defects. Ideally, I think most of these news media are with us, but they were part of the initial visit that we conducted on 15th of March. And we identified a lot of infractions on the line, including encroachment. Today, I'm happy to sit here to announce, through your effort, of course, and the Honorable Minister of Transport, Honorable Kari, everything has been resolved. Test run was successful, and we are going to start the first proof of revenue service on 1st October, which is Wednesday.
That was the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Frederick Apo. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Transport, Dorcas Afotofe, assured that the Transport Ministry remains committed to revamping Ghana's railway sector as part of efforts to create jobs and boost economic activities.
Actually said everything. You've given me what has been done, where you've reached, and what you are going to do. So there's no need to go into reading anything. All I want to add is that I'll give you my maximum support to make sure that the railway sector, because it looks like it's an area that has been neglected, that has been sidelined, that has not been given the necessary attention that it ought to have. Yeah. So I'm happy that His Excellency the President, in his own wisdom, chose you to lead the authority, and I know the passion that you have for this sector. So we'll all do our bit to make sure that we push that agenda, especially it has a lot to do in my area, Western region, so that our youth would have employment. I think that's all they asked for.
Deputy Minister of Transport Dorcas Afotofe. Absa Bank Ghana has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting government's 24-hour economy initiative, positioning itself as a strategic partner in unlocking new growth opportunities. The bank believes the policy has the potential to boost productivity and empower small and medium-sized enterprises. Speaking at a stakeholder forum that brought together clients and the 24-hour economy secretariat to discuss implementation pathways, Managing Director of Absa Ghana, Edward Nate Botre, assured that the bank is ready to provide both financial and technical support to businesses willing to take advantage of the initiative.
It's not possible to grow without your customers also growing. So then the point then becomes, how then do we support our customers to grow? Now, if government is putting forth ideas and programs that has got opportunities in them, obviously it makes a lot of sense for us to bring our customers to engage with government, to identify these opportunities, and then look at the areas where they can, which opportunities they can exploit. And once they identify these opportunities, we then can come in as a bank and then work with them, partner them, and help them to achieve the goals that they've set. So really for us, that is the plan. The SME sector is obviously a key component of the economy, and as a country we cannot develop without a strong SME sector. So since 2024, I can tell you that we've invested almost 1.8 billion Ghana cedis into that sector under our SME at 10 program.
That was the Managing Director of Absa Bank Ghana, Edward Nate Botre. That's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Lucky's everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community go win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is still Eyewitness News, and it's 6:37. Point Blank segment is next. Tonight we're delving into a new tracking poll by Global Info Analytics, which shows majority of voters prefer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to lead the MPP in the 2028 election. The poll suggests 57% of voters prefer Dr. Bawumia, while 29% prefer Kennedy Ohene Ejipong. In the swing regions of Greater Accra, Central and Western, Bawumia leads with 57%, Ejipong with 32 follows, and Yaweduchum and Baine Champong and Kwabene Ejipong follow with 4, 4 and 3 respectively. In the race to lead the NDC, the poll also showed that Haruna Idrisu was leading the pack with 30%, Asidun Ketia 24, Atufosin 18, Julius Debra with 10, Uchetua Blakwa with 8, and Eric Opoku and others following. It also presents 3 horse race scenarios and looks at what it calls runoff scenarios. We'll be speaking to Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa. He's on the line already. Before I talk to him, here are some reactions. Dr. Ekuya Mwaku, who is an aide to Dr. Bawumia, said the results reflect the effort Dr. Bawumia has put into the campaign, adding that he will build on these figures and he would not be complacent.
Be the candidate who's going to win us the election. So that has been the same message that we've been giving to the delegates all around, and now we're in the central region. You know, the thing with polls is whenever you see one, you look at it and learn what you can. So from our campaign, looking at the Global Info Analytics poll, we've taken what we need to take out of it. We'll improve where we need to and that. generally, so as the Bawumia campaign, we look at all the polls that come out and then take the lessons that we can learn from it. But obviously, we are quite excited about still being in the lead. I think this is about the third or fourth poll that Global Info Analytics has released, and it always puts us in the lead amongst MPP delegates and indeed amongst the general population. So it's something that we're keeping an eye on. We are not going to be complacent. As you stated earlier, we are currently on our way to central regions to engage delegates, and we'll continue to go around to engage delegates to be able to get a good message across.
So that was an aide to Dr. Bawumia, Dr. Kwamwako. Other camps have reacted. We have, for example, the campaign spokesperson for Kwabena Ejepong, Paul Abdurrahman Issa. He is saying that the polls were inaccurate.
As you know, polls are always, a lot of the time polls are subjective, and we have always maintained that some of these polls, well, they have their utility, but we don't put too much premium on it. If polls were anything to go by, Donald Trump wouldn't have won the 2016 U.S. election, neither would he have won the 2024 U.S. elections. I mean, everybody said Kamala was going to win, and he won. In 2016 was even worse. All pollsters thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, and in the end Donald Trump won. So polls are subjective, depends on who you are asking, when you are asking, and all those kinds of things. But we take it as we are a campaign team of intellectuals. We are a campaign team of objectivity. We ourselves conduct our internal polls after our meetings with the delegates to see how they received our message, to see the enthusiasm that they have. Who did Global Info Analytics speak? If we were to vote today, I can assure you that Engineer Kwabena Ejepong, if we don't take the first slot, we'll be second. We will be the second. We will see the second highest vote in that election.
So that was a spokesperson for Kwabena Ejepong. There's also another poll which looks at the direction of the country, performance of the president, government, and MPs. We'll also touch on some of those because that poll suggests that President Mohammed's honeymoon might be over, although more than 2 in 3 voters still approve of his job performance as president. So the poll saw the president's job approval decline from 73% in July to 67% in September, representing a 6% drop. It also shows 22% of voters disapprove of the president's, while 11% did not have an opinion. There are other findings we'll discuss. Let's talk to Musa Dankwa first on the presidential primaries and outlook for 2028. Musa, thanks so much for joining the Eyewitness News on Point Blank. Good evening.
It also shows 22% of voters disapprove of the president.
Hello, Musa.
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Some are asking, why are you worrying Ghanaians with polls about 2028? We haven't even done 1 year into 2024. What's your problem?
I don't have a problem. Ghanaians are talking, and rightly so, because we are in a unique circumstances, especially when it comes to NDC. You didn't see this under Ronaldo because he was going for a second term. So nobody will do this kind of issues, discussion. But NDC is in a very unique situation, and Mahama is going for a just single term. And indeed, people, without being prompted, have already started their moves. All that we have done is to speak to voters and ask them what do they think.
I see. I think on the MPP side, it seems the trend has continued to favor Bawumia. You did a July and you did September. It doesn't seem to have changed much, right? Is there any significant difference between 3 months ago and now in relation to the favorites for the MPP?
No, what has happened is that he has dropped slightly between July and now. But that drop that he dropped, that number didn't go to Kennedy. It rather went to undecided. So people probably have softened their stance for him by that percentage, and then it went to undecided. Kennedy and the rest of the country were flat. There was no change in their numbers, which means nothing is changing much in terms of their numbers.
But to have 27% of respondents who are MPP members say they are undecided, this is delegates. That's pretty serious. 27% undecided is very high, isn't it?
No, Bernard, if you remember last year, when you and I were doing the MPP delegate polls, about 10% were not disclosing. That number is now down to 4%. And those who were saying they were undecided were 18%. So people have moved from now being not disclosing and telling you a bit more and the rest going into undecided. I believe fundamentally the behavior of MPP people has not changed, especially the delegates.
Yeah, but if 27% are undecided, will that say, what does that point to? Because it's a big number. If you add that to any of the other numbers, it can shift the race, right? If Kennedy Japong has 29% of the voters and another 27 say they're undecided, if they all support him, that could be big, right? So can we say that the MPP race is still not over and that we should watch this space?
Oh, no, it's still not over. I wouldn't say it's over. But if you look at where the leading candidate is, it is highly unlikely every undecided will go to one candidate. And if you look at the trick of who are undecided, you could figure out who they will vote for by looking at other questions. We've done that behind the scenes, but because we're not doing predictions right now, we don't want to share that data at this stage. And we believe that Kennedy has to do a lot more to bring Dr. Bawumia down, or his other competitors should do a lot more in order to drag Bawumia from where he is for the race to be in a runoff situation. But for now, what it looks like is that it might be difficult to get a runoff if it continues this way.
Moving away from the MPP briefly, the NDC race intrigues me because, again, the government is probably 3 full months in work, all right? Because, of course, they appointed minister somewhere March, April, but you haven't even had a full year of work yet. Where are these names coming from? Are you... How did you even decide that these are the people whose names will be whose name will be in the box, right?
But some of them, by their utterances, you know they would go. One of them is Asidin Ketia, who has not ruled himself out. Zebra, we know for sure he's going to go. Haruna Dusu has made a comment that made us feel that he's going to contest. Atufostin has said nothing, absolutely nothing. But we believe that he's one of the top positions in the government that if he throws his hat in the race, it could mean something. Some of them, Ablakwa is also there to see how the young people are faring, and he's doing pretty well in terms of young voters. The rest of them, some have called us, some have sent emissaries to say that they have interest, so we should put their names in there. So the rest of the names, some of them were through backdoor contacts or backdoor channels. That's why we have a very long list like that.
But I noticed the vice president's name is not in the list. And I find that interesting because I think it was last week that the education minister at a program, and I'm quoting a story that was on a number of websites, I pray you become Ghana's first female president. Haruna Idrisu, 24 September 2025. And I'm reading the story. It says, the Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has expressed his goodwill for Vice President Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, praying that she will one day become Ghana's first female president. Mr. Idrisu made the remark when the Vice President visited the Ministry of Education in Accra. Welcoming her, he said, quote, "It's my pride and honor and grace to want to welcome you back to the Ministry of Education, this time in an elevated capacity as first female Vice President of the Republic." The minister went on to wish her long life and good health, adding, quote, "It is my prayer that God will give you long life and good health, so that probably you will be elevated to become the first female president. God bless you." This is just last week. So I'm surprised that the vice president doesn't feature in your prospective names for the NDC.
Bernard, she was there in April. The first poll we did was around 25%, and Haruna and Atu were around 20%. But then after that, we have this health issue, healthcare that made them flew out of the country for treatment, and he came back. So the health pressures, we believe that will make it very difficult for her. Also, at the moment, she's about 73. So next, in 2028, she'll be around 77. The data shows that 64% of voters prefer young leaders. And 78% of people who vote in this country, roughly, are below the age of 44. So we believe that age will be a key issue in the next election, whoever leads MPP or NDC. And for that matter, that may be disadvantageous. So it was from our own call that we dropped her. If there is indication that she's going to contest, we will by no means bring her back in the race.
Well, I think it have made it more interesting, and also the fact that from your research, Haruna is the leading candidate based on the data, is essentially endorsing the sitting vice president. It will be very interesting, I mean, to read, and that's number one. Number two, the NDC may well have their own primaries for different election officers and different executives before they even choose their leaders for the flag bearership. So unlike the MPP, who have decided that they would start with the flag bearer, the NDC would have to choose national officers at various levels before this final one. So it will suggest the NDC findings could be taken with a bit pinch of salt, right? Because this is, we are not even sure who's voting. That's what I'm saying.
No, Bernard, the NDC data is not from delegates. It's voters' perception, general voters, who they prefer to lead NDC. And look, what makes the NDC case more interesting is that their election will see younger people becoming delegates. And that will be making more deadly than the old alcohol. If younger people are becoming delegates in the NDC, it means they will push a youth agenda. And the cry for younger leaders will be much louder than it is right now.
So that's an interesting one to watch. But for the NDC race as well, for the names you put out, it seems to me it's I don't know. Is it 2-horse race? Because you say Haruna is leading the pack with 30, Asirin Ketia 24, Atu Forsen 18, Julius Debra 10, Okucha Tabakwa 8. Can we discern any pattern in this? And how does this compare to 3 months ago?
Look, Haruna was leading 2 months ago. He's gone up about 3% compared to the rest. Atu Forsen has declined by, I think, 4% compared to last time. And I think Genatu has declined slightly among all voters. Now, what is interesting to understand is that Haruna is the only northern candidate, or except from the northern sector, in the race. So he's able to consolidate all the northern sector votes to himself. Whereas the southern sector, you can see that everybody there is a southerner, and they are splitting the votes. Now, what you would find is that eventually, when the race narrows, when people drop, when others who feel like, no, this one, I won't make it, I will drop, then you begin to see consolidation of the vote. And that would probably put somebody else over the top than Haruna.
All right. Now, moving away from 2028 into the direction of the country, performance of the president, government, and MPs, this national tracking poll, which you released, I think, a week ago, you say that the honeymoon for President Mahama might be over, although 2 in 3 voters still approve of his job performance as president. Can you put a bit of meat on that? What do you mean by this?
Look, if you go to voters who are saying that the government as a whole has performed, there has been a decline of those who say they perform very good or good from 61% to 54%. That's a big decline. If you go to people who are saying that their standard of living has improved, that has declined from 59% in July to 57% right now. Then if you go to those who say that they are optimistic their standard of living will improve in the next 12 months, that has declined from 72 to 67. And then lastly, on the fight against corruption, if you ask them whether the government is doing enough in fighting corruption, that number who say yes has declined from 63 to 58. So these are the indications that led to Mahama losing grounds in overall approval rating.
It will be interesting to know when you took the data, because the Galamsey issue has come up strongly, and I think it came up after his encounter with the press.
Yes.
As did the issue around the deportation of non-Ghanaians into Ghana. Did you take the data before the meet the press or after the meet the press?
After the meet the press, and also after the Galamsey market and deportation had happened. So those we have fed into the data.
But you didn't ask a specific question about how Ghanaians perceive the Galamsey fight?
Not this time around. Well, we are hoping to collaborate with other CSOs to do a comprehensive survey on Galamsey and other matters.
But interestingly, on the fight against corruption, you said majority of voters believe the government is doing enough in the fight against corruption. 58%, while 29% say it's not doing enough. The poll also shows that voters who believe the government is not doing enough is on the increase, rising from 23 to 29. Do you think the government is under pressure on the corruption issue? Because that 23 to 29 between July and September seems to be quite big.
It's big. And I think it is due to a bit of stalling of oral cases. People are thinking that, look, these guys are fighting themselves in the back. And especially when people are talking about plea bargain, people don't understand. So you can steal government money and go and have an agreement with somebody at the Attorney General and get your sentence or whatever cut. So people are really angry. They don't understand the legal context of that plea bargain and what they're supposed to achieve. So for them, is the government trying to go into bed with people who are stealing money?
The other thing I noticed was quite interesting, that the poll shows that floating voters saw an increase from 2% to 17% in September. Is this becoming a trend we should look at? The idea of people who call themselves floating voters. Is the 17 normal, or can we say it's unprecedented?
No, it is normal. In the last election, it was 50%. What we have seen in recent times since the election is that the number of voters who say they are NDC has gone up significantly. In October, there were 33% of Ghanaians who were openly saying they were NDC. Now that number is 42%. MPP was 37% in October last year, openly saying they are MPP. That number has declined to 27%, Bernard. So people are moving from MPP and they are going towards NDC and floating voters. And we have also seen an increase in number of those who say that we won't tell you our political party because they are probably shy to say that they are MPP. They are still MPP, but they won't say so.
Finally, something you said in your summary that I find very, I don't want to use the word remarkable, but it's obviously worth probing further, that Gen Z and millennial voters, which is voters under 44 years of age, i.e. people born after 1981, account for nearly 78% of voters. That is very serious. That
it is very serious, Bernard, and that is what is going to shape our politics going forward. You know, if you look at the EC register, that number is probably around 75 or 74. But in this sample, there's margin of error of about 2%, so it's a bit way. But it's still within range that over 74% of people who vote in this country are under 44 years of age. And these guys are the same people who are saying that they want Ghana to be led by young people.
It's obviously something to keep an eye on. So finally, when are you doing something else? Is this every 3 months? We're in September, so when should we expect another installment of this?
Yes, with regards to the national tracking poll, the next one will start somewhere before Christmas, and the report will be out January. But in between, we may be doing the MPP delegates because their elections are quite in the core, very near in the future. So we will track their delegate polls every month.
Musa Danko, always a pleasure talking to you, pushing the envelope, using research to enrich national discourse. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Musa Danko is Executive Director of Global Info Analytics. Point Blank was sponsored by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions. A few quick questions. With the pace of polls almost on a weekly basis, Musa will lose relevance very soon. Life is more than elections. We want some peace in our lives. Please don't know a little Oto in Abeka. Well, Oto is every 3 months. Hello, greetings, Team Citi. Please bring Musa Dankwa one of these days to do a poll on which political party did well in the war against Galamsey. Well, he says he would touch on Galamsey in his next round. Earlier on, we spoke about the DSTV value bundle changes and got a lot of comments on that. Few of you not so impressed with the minister's announcement. And then we also delve into an Imani report on the Gold for Oil program, and we ended the show with Musa Dankwa on 2 critical reports: the national tracking poll, which shows direction of the country, performance of the president and government, and also for the 2028 scenario. My name is Bernard Avle. I sat in for Sami Wiafe and of course Umaru Sandamadu, who are the two main hosts of the program. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for the rest of our programming.